Hey makers, it's Charlotte with the Wood & Wick Co. and today I'm talking about how to distribute your products. If you are a maker and you have your own business, you might start to wonder, where am I going to sell these products? Well, there's many different avenues where you can distribute and sell your products. I'm going to touch on the highlights of some of the main options that are available to you. Having your own website is much easier today than ever before to create your site, upload your products, and start selling to people you know and people you don't know online. So watch our video on which website platform you should choose if you plan to take this route. Some of the most common options available are building your website through Shopify, Wix, or WooCommerce. You don't have to have any web development experience. There's plenty of templates that you can use to create a beautiful website without any real coding skills. So that's the first option. Also check out our video on how to drive website sales if you plan to do this. Websites are amazing because it's your own space for your brand, but you also have to drive people to that website. So check out that video as well. Also, many makers who are just starting out sell on third-party platforms. One of the most popular for crafters and makers is Etsy. Etsy is a great platform where it's very cost effective to list your products with them. They only charge you once your product is actually sold, and it's a pretty low fee compared to other third-party platforms. So Etsy is a great option. You can also meet and gain many new customers through Etsy that find you only because your products are on Etsy. They may not have found you through your website, but on Etsy they can search luxury candle or natural candle, and they can find you, and you just gained more brand exposure and a new customer for the first time. So Etsy is a great place to start. The only downside from my perspective of Etsy is that you're in a very crowded marketplace. So if you're selling your candles on Etsy and someone does search luxury candles, they're looking at a feed with many different options from competitors and other brands. That being said, that is brand exposure that you wouldn't have otherwise. So I think Etsy is a great place to start, and I encourage you to also create an Etsy account and sell through Etsy on top of your own website or wherever else you plan to distribute, because it's fairly easy and quick to list your products. It's not very expensive, and again, you'll get new brand exposure. You can also sell your products on Amazon. We've all heard of Amazon, and that's one of the most popular selling platforms in the world, or the most popular selling platform in the world. Listing your products on Amazon can be slightly more challenging than Etsy, to put it lightly. However, it can have a great reward in return for that work that you put in. Amazon is obviously extremely highly trafficked for products, and many people use it for purchasing all of the products that they buy, or gifts and home decor type items. So listing your candles on Amazon, again, similar benefits to Etsy. You can gain new brand exposure and have lots of new customers see your products that may not have been exposed to them otherwise. The biggest downside of selling on Amazon are the fees that they take. So compared to Etsy, that takes maybe 20 cents per listing, Amazon is going to take somewhere between 20 to 40% of your profit on your products, depending on if you're using them for shipping, if you're using them for actual fulfillment of your products, or if you're shipping them from your own warehouse. So lots to consider when it comes to Amazon. We have a separate video on how to list and sell your products on Amazon, so check that out if this is something that interests you, but that's a great opportunity as well. Also, you can sell your products in person to people. That can be at a farmer's market, local craft fair. It can be anywhere that you can set up a pop-up shop or a small area and show your products to passerbys or shoppers in your local area. Again, great way to get new brand exposure. And to me, one of the biggest benefits of these types of events is the direct feedback opportunity. So the direct feedback opportunity is when you get to actually meet with your customers face to face, and you get to watch them experience your products and listen to their feedback. This can be one of the most powerful ways that you can experience customer feedback. And so I love markets and craft fairs for that reason specifically. You can really hear your customers and what they think of your products. Now, keep in mind when you sell at craft fairs or at farmers markets, not everyone is your customer, and that's okay. If you're selling a luxury product and you have a value buyer who comes to your tent or your setup and they express that your products are too expensive or that they're not interested in them, don't change your whole business model because of this. I always say, don't try to be everything to everyone. You don't want to. Find your niche and rule it. So when you're at these markets, take in all the feedback you can get, meet new people, gain that brand exposure, but know who your audience is and don't change your brand around because of a single piece of feedback that you receive. They can also be a great way to get a lot of revenue and a lot of sales in a short period of time. So if you plan to use farmers markets or craft fairs as one of your distribution channels, be sure to thoroughly research your local options, how many people typically attend them, how many other sellers are going to be at that market, if there are other candle sellers or similar products to yours that will be selling there, what the location is like. All of these things will help you factor in how much inventory you need and what your projected sales will be or return on what you have to pay to attend those markets. So that's a little tidbit of advice on selling in person. Also, a huge channel can be wholesale. And wholesale is when you sell your products directly to another reseller who sells them in person, like in a retail store or in Nordstrom or in Urban Outfitters or Anthropologie or any type of store where they're reselling your product in a retail setting. Wholesale, again, great exposure to new customers. These are people that may typically only shop at Anthropologie or they may typically only shop at your local boutique, and now they have the opportunity to see your candle, learn about your brand, and it could become a staple candle brand or staple diffuser or spray brand for them based on that in-person experience that they had in the store. If you are wondering about wholesale, watch our video on how to price your products. That's something that you want to consider when you're planning out how to price your products, is if you want to use wholesale as a part of your distribution channel. If that is the case, then all the best to you, because that can be challenging and it can be high growth and it can be fantastic because you're getting much larger orders at once and you can make and sell in bulk versus when you sell direct to consumer, you typically are selling 1, 2, 3 units at a time. You also want to create what's called a sell sheet if you plan to sell wholesale. So if you plan to approach boutiques or stores or any retail setting and you want them to sell your products, it's a great idea to have a sell sheet that lists what your products are, what their identifying name or code is, and what the retail price is as well as the wholesale price. Retailers need to know what they're going to be paying for the product. They need to know what your retail cost or what your retail price is so they know that they'll be making a profit on it. And you also want to establish if there's any kind of minimums, whether they have to buy a minimum of 6 units per fragrance or case packs or however you want to do that. That can help increase your profit margin if you set minimums and you can make things more in bulk. So wholesale is a great avenue to consider. And if you're not sure where to start with this distribution channel, start locally, reach out to local boutiques, reach out to local stores, grocery stores, bring them a product sample so they can see and experience what your product looks and feels like. And you can also use LinkedIn to reach out to people as well who are in your local or not local area and see if they're willing to accept a sample of your product and look at your sell sheet. So those are a few of the most common distribution channels out there. Of course, there's so many other avenues where you can sell your products and you can grow your brand awareness, but these are some of the most popular and most common options that you can consider for your brand and your business. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe to our channel to stay in the know on all the latest makers, tips, and tricks. Happy making!